All right, friends, welcome back to Web Applications Development, focusing on JavaScript. Remember, I said that before I begin with the explaining how to develop code. This is all hands-on. I would just like to go through the introduction. Introduction is a bit long because this is all about, the overview of this entire course. And all the topics that I'm covering in the introduction will be hands-on later on in the course. Okay, so just hang in there. Let me just define what each and every concept means here. Okay, so we have introduction to responsive design. Responsive web design, or RWD, is an approach to web design aimed at crafting sites to provide an optimal viewing and interaction experience. Easy reading and navigation with minimum of resizing, panning, and scrolling across a wide range of devices from desktop monitors, okay, to mobile phones and tablets. Okay, the problem here with previous websites was, if you remember, there is this desktop version of a website, and then there's this mobile version of the website. Mobile version is best viewed with the aid of mobile apps as well. If you have the mobile app version of the website, nowadays things are very responsive, and it essentially means this thing here. Look at this diagram. Content is like water. Okay, this is said by Josh Clark. Okay, and all right, so it says content is like water. You put water into a cup, it becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes a bottle. You put it in a teapot, it becomes a teapot. So this is what content is like, and that's how your website should be. It should take the shape, and it should utilize the real estate area of the screen wherever it is being displayed. Okay, so how can you do a responsive web design? All right, this part is a little bit intimidating, because if you haven't heard of the programming differences between client-side and server-side scripting. Okay, client-side scripting is programming that interacts with the browser, with the screen browser and operating system of the user. Okay, supposing you're the user, you're using the laptop or a desktop, whatever messages that you see popping up, whatever advertisement you see popping up, and any kind of interactivity that's going on, it's all whatever you see on the screen is client-side programming that you're seeing. And any page that you go to, for example, a new page here, the UAE National Games page. Okay, what happens is, if you go to these settings here, can you see? And okay, not just settings, let me just right click and inspect or view page source. Okay, view page source, and I'm able to see the entire programming that I've done on this page. Actually, I created this page so using Joomla. It's a content management system, and this is how the code was generated. Okay, and this is all HTML language. Okay, embedded with CSS, JavaScript, and many more languages here. Okay, so many more what we call browser enabled languages without the need of plugin. Okay, so this is client side programming, scripting programming. I've said this before, it's going to be the same thing. Client side, view source. Okay, on the flip side, if you look at the server side scripting, it's all the programming that takes place in the server. All the codes and all the algorithm, all the logic, all the conditions, functions are defined on the server, the machine where all this information is coming from. And what the server side programming is where you receive information from the client side programming, you process it, and then you send it back to the client side. Okay, server side programming, you can never see the source, you can never change the source, you can never look at the source, you can never find out where the source is coming from. It's all based in the server. okay, and the real work happens in the server. So JavaScript that we're working on, and Ajax that I introduced before, jQuery libraries, all of these programs are located on the server. The server, your own computer, your personal computer is requesting information from. That's where these programs are located. So there's a difference between client-side scripting and server-side scripting. I think it's very important to highlight these differences, because you need to know that, and you need to know the difference between front-end and back-end programming. Front-end is what you see on the screen here. Okay, this guy here. This is all front-end. Okay, and for example, look at this form here. Okay, I just created this form, and in this form it says that, put your name, your email, your phone number, whatever information that I add here. Okay, this is all front end programming. If I want to right click and see the page source, this is the page source. Okay, it may not make sense to you right now, but it is a complete page. This is what the coding behind the page that you just saw, the form that you just saw. Okay, for example, I see captcha code, get element by ID, document.get element by ID. This is typical JavaScripting. Why do we have JavaScripting here? Because you need to take this information and send it back to the server. Look at this, captcha is also here. Okay, and you saw the word captcha here, view source. Where is it? Let me show it to you. Captcha load. Okay, I'm just trying to make an effort to show this to you, to make you understand the difference between front side and back side programming. I just saw it. Yeah, change captcha function. It's a function, and it's a JavaScript function. Okay, JavaScript is added in the HTML document. I'll show you how to do that. I mean, this is one of the amazing things that you're going to take away from this course. Learn how to add JavaScript in your HTML language. Okay, this might look a little bit intimidating to you, but I'm sure let me reassure you, you don't need to memorize everything by heart. You have lots of resources to copy code from. Okay, this is where the libraries come into play, but you should understand the logic going on in the code. You should understand why we're adding something somewhere. Okay, and the statement and the punctuation and the syntax, all of these things, they come with practice. Don't worry about that. Okay, and it's a contact form. So you just add all of this. This is front-end programming. And when you do hit submit, what happens when I hit send? There you go. Please enter all required fields. When I hit send, this form was sent to the server. Okay, the server where this page is residing. Okay, in the server where the programming to catch this information is located. And the programming that is going to catch this information highlighted these errors. Please enter all required fields. All of these have been highlighted. This is an error. It's an exception that has been caught by the program. Okay, and it has been displayed back to the front end. So this is what's happening between the front end and the back end. There is a programming. Two programs are talking, complementing programs are talking to each other between the server side and the client side. Okay, and they bring to you this information. So this is how client side and server side programs come into play. That was a very good example actually. Okay, so let's look at the salient features. You have client side scripting, which validates user input. You saw that I did not fill out the entire form and I hit send or submit button or whatever button that you have, and the form was validated by the backend programming, which was server-side programming, and I got an error message. So client-side scripting validates user input, accesses the browser, enhances web pages with ActiveX controls, applets, etc., manipulates browser documents. Okay, so the ActiveX controls and applets, I will discuss this in detail when we get into animation and we get into JavaScript, but let's just focus on this right now. Okay, one little difference between what I just said now was validates user input. Some programs have built-in error and exception handling within the client side. Before you send all the information to the server side, the client side programming will make sure the information is complete. So that's called data validation within the client side. That's also possible. And when the data validation is complete, the form is then sent to the server. And you will notice that when the form is being sent to the server, it takes a few minutes. And you also get the message that please don't change the browser, please don't close the browser, please wait for a few minutes while your request is being processed, and then after some time, after half a minute or a minute, depending on the processing speed and of the program of the server as well as your internet connection, you get a message on the screen saying that your request has been processed, thank you very much, we'll get in touch, and all of those things. So client-side scripting is becoming very smart now. Manipulates browser documents, which it did here. Okay, and client-side validation reduces number of requests that need to be passed to the server. Okay, client-side programming also prevents clogging or bottleneck requesting to the server. Okay, server is already busy multiprocessing a lot of requests at the same time, so it does not need to validate user input. It does not need this burden. Client side, it validates the user input. Client side scripting or limitations, browser dependency, just like I said, depending on the speed of your browser, speed of your computer, speed of the server, and all of those things. So client side scripting really depends on all of these things. Viewable to users through view source command, control U. I just showed this to you here. One of the oldest things that we did when we were learning how to do programming was this trick here, to view source. Okay, and it helps a lot. It helps a lot to create sources, again, recreate programs. JavaScript is the most popular client-side scripting. Okay, so we're going to do client-side scripting using JavaScript, and it will be processed by server-side scripting. And JavaScripting is also complemented on the server side with the aid of libraries. So we're going to clarify this whole notion of client-side and server-side responsibilities as we go through the course. Client-side, continue. Client-side and server-side scripting. Server-side scripts provides programmers greater flexibility, because the reason why you have a lot of flexibility in the server-side scripting is because you have a lot more control over the program. Now the thing is, there's only, you can cover a lot of behavior or actions or events generated by the user. For example, clicking on a button, typing information, typing whatever you feel like typing. All of these things cannot be, it's hard to control all of these things. You have to tell the, for example, here it's asking me my name. Okay, what if I just put in my numbers here? Okay, I should technically get an error that no numbers are allowed on this text box, because no names have numbers, definitely, right? No names have numbers. It's possible in the email address, possible in the phone, definitely, but not possible in the name. You would never have a number in your name. So you should have all of those checks placed in your program, and which means that there's only so much control you can have on the behavior of the person. People are unpredictable, okay, but machines are not. So server-side scripting deals with handling only machines, usually mostly machines. So provides programmers greater flexibility and control over the events that are going to be generated. Generates custom responses for clients, okay, based on what they need. Contains greater programmatic capabilities than client-side equivalents. So it creates greater capabilities for people than the client-side programs. Has access to server-side software that extends server functionality. So you can extend server functionality, you can mirror actions, you can mirror devices, you can create virtual machines. There's so many things that is possible through server-side scripting. More powerful programming, that's what it means. Server-side options are, these are the options here. Common gateway interface, we're going to do that a little bit. Fast common gateway interface, mod Perl active server pages, ASP, we're going to cover that a little bit. Personal home pages, PHP, Cold Fusion, Java servlets, Java server page, we're going to do that a little bit. But mostly we're going to talk about interactivity on the website. You are developing web interactivity on the client side, okay? And on the client side, you're going to use JavaScript. I'm going to teach you how to embed JavaScript in your HTML, okay? And then this request is going to be sent to the server side. And for the server side, what program will receive JavaScript depends what you have activated in your server side. We will do some of CGI, some of JSP, okay? And ASP as well. Common features of server-side scripting is all server-side frameworks share a common set of features. Read data submitted by the user, okay, all of these guys here, okay, they're big shots, big names, but they have one purpose, okay. They read data submitted by the user, they generate HTML dynamically based on user input, they determine information about the client browser, they access database systems, they exploit the HTTP protocol. Okay, some of these terms a little bit, maybe a little bit advanced for you, but don't need to worry. But just trying to say here is that they may have different language, different syntax, different functionalities, but their main purpose is all of these things here. Okay, here I have some kind of a client and server side interaction, okay, just giving you an application, okay, nothing else. I'm just giving you an application here, and it's called an intelligent home, okay. If you look here, home automation, all controlled by smartphone or tablet. These two devices are controlling the entire house, okay. And in the house you have pool and spa, thermostat, smoke alarm, lights, refrigerator, irrigation system, video surveillance, door lock, speakers, TV, Wi-Fi router, garage door, power meter, okay, a tablet, TV, laptop, window shade, speakers, lights, all of these, exterior lighting, all of these things. I'll be surprised if the car ignition is not there. I mean, starting the car with the aid of your phone is possible. And many things, many things are possible. All of these are actually the communication between client and server side scripting. So this is the reading on the smoke alarm, whether you have to alert whether there is a high level of smoke in the room or low level of the smoke in the room. This is data. Thermostat, reading on the thermostat, whether the temperature is, you've set the temperature to be a certain, pleasant 77 Fahrenheit, or you could say 22, 19 or 20 degrees centigrade. You don't want it to be lower or higher, okay. So to signal a message to the, just give a vibration on the tablet or the phone that the temperature is rising or lowering, and you just adjusted the temperature. Just informing and updating. You need the system to tell you what it's doing, not just do it on its own. So that if there is an error, you have a problem with that, you can stop the transaction happening. So all of this is data collected. Lights, whether they're on or off. For some reason, you're at work and one of the lights have turned on, and the system is telling you light in this room 1 is on, and you're just wondering who's in the house, and you call, and then you find out that maybe your sister or your daughter or somebody is in the house. They came back early, and the right light is on. So it's like a security, added security dimension here. Speakers, window shades, all of these. You're sitting down and it's too sunny, suddenly too sunny in the room. You just use the tablet and you put down the shades. You see the status of the shades and then you just change the status of the shades, and this information is sent to the server that is controlling the smart home app, and the server is going to take an action, and then it is going to talk to the circuit. It is going to talk to the chip embedded, the smart chip embedded in the shade controller, and then it's going to have it, everything is connected through Wi-Fi. Okay, all of this information is being transmitted to and fro using the Wi-Fi. So the blinds would open up or close up, etc. Same goes for everything here. Garage door would open. You're coming back from work. You use your tablet. You open up the smart home application, and then you scroll down and you see the garage door. You look at the status. It says closed. You change the status to open, and it has to be, and it's going to open. It doesn't work like remote control. It works through your mobile data connection, and it accesses the smartphone app in the server. Okay, client side and server side scripting communication, and then from server side to the client side. Now this time not on my phone, but to the chip located here at the garage door controller, anywhere here, wherever the control is located. Okay, so this is the mainstream automation market revenue growth is 2.6 billion by 2017. Okay, 571 million to 2.6 billion. Now this is something very, very exponential, very, very dramatic. It's a dramatic change, which means that server side scripting and client side scripting has changed a lot over these years. It has become more efficient, more smart, which means it makes it even more important for you to be able to understand how to communicate between client and server. Okay, you have these decision points that you need to keep in mind no matter what your application is. When evaluating which server-side technology to use, you need to consider a number of critical factors. Which server-side technology? Whether you want to use CGI, fast CGI, mod, ASP, personal home pages, Cold Fusion, or JavaScript, Java servlets, which one do you want to use? Okay, you want to evaluate it using these 4 points. Ease of development. How easily can you build new applications? Performance. How fast can the technology respond to queries? Scalability. Can the technology scale to thousands, even millions of users? Security. Are there any inherent security vulnerabilities? So you have all of these server-side scripting programs available to you, client-side scripting programs available to you. How do you choose which one is the best for you? Depends on your need, depends on your program that you're trying to develop, and then you just use these features to make a decision. Okay, I think I'm done with my introduction here, and up next I'm going to start my first JavaScript program, and step by step I'm going to show you how to create interactivity on your web page. We're going to create very interesting projects, but first we need to get a grip on the program. So all you need is a notepad editor and you need a browser. Okay, organize you need to create a folder and call it JavaScript, and within JavaScript you can create notepad files that I'll be creating. Okay, let's do that in the next video. Alright, we're all set. Let's begin programming.